case. So I got one of the ones that has the little slidey phone cover,
Nice.
The
like for the
what?
camera.
Oh.
It has now become my new little fidget toy because I keep fucking with the click thing because my emotional support knife has gone missing
Oh
again.
no, not
No.
uh, I used it to tear down a bunch of cardboard boxes and I sat it down somewhere and now the apartment's eating it again. So I don't know.
where are the boxes? That's the question.
I know, that's the dumb part. So I don't know if it's just because I'm closer to the Fae, my shit's going missing more often, or if I am just stupid.
Bit of column A and bit of column B.
Little comedy, probably. That's entirely fair.
You're putting it
Oh,
places that the Fae are like, why would she put it there? I have to take it.
well, this is your fault now.
Yeah.
That's fair. Speaking of Fae adjacent crimes, there's a bit of a scandal on this side of the pond because somebody
Oh
has
my.
absconded with 12 tons of Kit Kats.
Yes, I
Ooh.
heard. What the fuck are you gonna do
Yeah.
with that many Kit Kats?
Apparently like bootleg resell them. So initially everyone thought it was a practical joke. Turns out it's not. It's legit. There's now like a website set up by Nestle that they're like, hey, if you purchase Kit Kats and it feels sus, uh, you could put the barcode into our little track thing, and we can backtrack
What
where all
the
the illicit Kit
fuck?
Kats are coming from.
That's crazy, bro.
And I'm just like,
That
who's
is
Kit Kat
crazy.
narking? Who's Kit Kat narking? One,
Yeah.
fuck Nestle. Two,
I wonder
That's
how
so
many
much
people are just
work.
going to get reported because they're selling Kit Kats on the side of the road or like kids
oh my
in
god.
buses or subways, you know?
Just start reporting
Yeah.
UK officials every time you get a Kit Kat.
I bought this Kit
Yeah.
Kat from the Queen. Sorry, the Queen is
Just
dead.
yeah. So
There's a new
yeah,
one, right?
Yeah,
this really
I
creepy
don't
guy
know.
named
They replace
Andrew,
them when they die. Like they get a new one.
they got a
There's
new
Oh,
one.
there's not just the
I just
one.
assumed that one was just like, goaded so much that they were like, nah, forget it. We're not doing it anymore.
We're done. No more queen.
Yeah.
I mean, well, no, we got to get through Charles, and then after that is going to be the conversation of like, are we done with this?
Yeah.
But no,
Well,
I
that
think
probably
people
won't
should
take too
flood.
long. I think
I
that
mean,
like really,
I mean,
I feel like any of the royal family, their genes are just so diluted and weak that stiff
I don't
breeze. I
know.
guess the queen lived on spite and hatred for I don't know how long.
I don't know, man. I'm just saying. I think everybody should be calling the Kit Kat hotline and saying that a really creepy old guy named Andrew was trying to sell them boxes of Kit Kats, and he had a van full of like squelchy teddy bears.
Ew.
Ew.
I will never get my boot off that neck. I don't give a fuck.
Squelchy teddy bears.
Yeah, that's a rough word right there.
Look, that's
Ugh.
a lore deep cut. That is a lore deep cut. I hate that I have that information. Oh God. So now that we said things that are gonna get me fucking removed from the island.
Hi, and welcome to Blank Body. It's a Vampire the Masquerade V5 tabletop and horror podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and I'm joined by.
Done.
You seemed unsure.
Oh, I was trying to seem more meditative.
Yeah,
It
Oh,
was
it
like
was
an
giving a big
ohm,
bell
but
energy.
my yeah.
thought you were questioning your identity.
Yeah. I mean, I could be John. I could also be Golgarath, destroyer of worlds. No one really knows.
That's
I mean,
true.
live your truth. Hey, I'm Sarah. Also, we just missed Trans Day of Visibility. I'm here now. Anyways,
You exist, Sarah. I've never seen
I
you before.
do.
Wow.
Hi.
It doesn't
Wow.
matter. We can't see you anyway. This is an audio medium.
Damn. Damn. Dog
You're
damn.
visible to someone.
That's okay. I've got a bat mug full of coffee, and the episode this week is about kindred iconography. Woo.
Oh, my mug's blank.
Oh, bats.
It does have
It's
coffee
freaking
though.
bad.
See?
Hell yeah. It's freaking bats. Love Halloween. Anyhow, speaking of Halloween, full of symbols.
Many.
So many symbols. So kindred iconography. I wanted to dig into this because it felt like a good little addendum to the how portray character, how'd make thing go,
How do?
how do. Because using symbols is a good little shorthand for communicating information. Oh my God, that's almost like how symbols work. Uh,
Cool.
So, gonna be talking about how symbols work as communications, how they can be used for character portrayals, and then some notes about like symbols uses in games. So hopefully that'll help. I like sticking little Easter eggs into things, and hopefully you do too. Easter is upon us. I guess that's why it was on the brain. Damn.
Oh,
What?
Easter.
I'm just
I
sad
don't
it's
have a
not
trumpet.
Easter.
I don't have a trumpet. I can't announce our Lord's rising,
I mean, yeah, I believe in you. Which,
Thanks.
okay, so for people who don't know, when we have lived together as roommates for Easter, John has, in multiple years, gotten this little, like, hunting bugle, like for
Yeah, it's
fox
about
hunting
right.
and shit, and used it to wake us all up by trumpeting and just screeching, "He has risen," and just going all about the property.
It's very funny.
Then yes, and then there was the one year, I think Hunter set this up where I woke up way later than everybody else because everybody else had family shit to do. And this motherfucker left on loop in the living room a video clip of Usher wishing the Xbox community a happy Easter while also
Yeah.
looping the track of Ave Maria.
Yeah, that was Happy Easter Xbox.
Which I knew you all were going to be gone because it was a holiday weekend and you guys have families that love you. So it was just weird being like, who the fuck is talking in my house and why is there opera? Just like bleary eyed and like kind of hungover. I'm in the house by myself and I'm just like, oh, this is how a horror movie starts. I'm gonna die round the corner. It's Usher.
Hunter didn't want you to feel alone on the holiday.
Somehow that video also only has 373K views. It's
That's
on
A
the
thousand
wild.
of
official
those have to be
Xbox
you.
channel, at least, yeah. Because I've done this multiple years to other people too.
Yes. And considering how much I sleep in, I'm assuming that loop was left alone for a while.
Mm. And it, like I said, it's only 6 seconds, so you're getting multiple per minute.
Oh yeah, you're getting some bang for your buck on those views. All right, so constant warning on this regular WAD stuff. Good news, no
The world
genocide
is
this
dark.
episode. The world is dark
So
enough
not
outside. I don't need.
regular, not
I.
regular WAD stuff because no genocide. Got it. Okay.
It comes up a lot. It's not my
It
fault.
does.
It's not my fault. It keeps happening, and it's very frustrating. Um. Anyhow, so sources, core book, player's guide, Chicago by Night. I also found some articles if folks are interested. I suppose I could just chuck these links in the Discord for folks if they want them after the episode's up. But for people that want some baby bat basics into this kind of shit, there is What is a Symbol by Virginia Seymour, Guide to Representational, Non-Representational, and Abstract Art by Gavin Coates, and the Tate Museum's online art terms glossary. Honestly, it's a really good little point through wiki that explains a lot of art terms. So if you're just like, I don't know what the difference is between modern art and postmodern art and cubism and impressionism,
I
that's
hate
all there
cubes.
and it's cool. Yeah, and you get
Truly.
to look at cool art. It's neat. Also checked in a book that I use a lot called Understanding Media by Marshall McLuhan. And then there was a point I wanted to make in the episode, but then I found a guy that talked about it much more articulately than me, so I'll be pulling some info from him, but it's from the video. Uh, the End of Neoliberalism is Here and It Sucks by Michael Burns.
Oh, all right.
Thanks, Mr. Burns.
Yeah, excellent.
Release the
So,
hounds.
this is the first time in a long time I've been to the UK and I've not been forced to sit through a marathon of The Simpsons.
That's a
Wild.
strange happening. I don't
Yeah.
understand.
Not that we haven't made Simpsons references, just usually somebody's like, "Oh, we gotta watch it," and I'm like,
Is it
"Okay."
because they're American or they're trying to make you feel at home? Like, I don't.
No, just people abroad fucking love The Simpsons.
Huh. I mean,
That's
it's a
kind of
good
just me and
show.
it. Yeah, yeah. Like just for the longest time, that's been like my main cultural touch point was like The Simpsons or South Park.
Wild.
Which not the worst.
I mean, that's
So,
kind of how it works in the Americas too, honestly.
hmm. Yeah, everybody has seen The Simpsons or South Park. They're cultural symbols. They are. I'm gonna avoid that
Whoa.
rant. I'm gonna avoid that rant for right now. So, in the Kindred iconography lore sheet, there's a quote that equally I find deeply funny and it drives me insane and will explain why. But the quote is, over the millennia, Canaanites have raised their symbols not only to an art form, but to an entire language of its own.
Isn't that just what symbols are, though?
Yes.
All right, cool.
I'm like, you just described how that works. Good job.
I was gonna say,
It
like, the
took them
alphabet
millennia? Wow.
is a language, right? Like A, B,
Yes, and
those are symbols.
yes, yes. Right.
They
So,
And
what
symbolically
the
represent noises my mouth make.
and the noises that our mouths make are also non-visual symbols that are representations of other items and abstract concepts.
how does the Sabbat think that they're going to run the whole world when it took them millennia to figure that out?
I Doc, I don't know.
That's not the only thing it took them a little too long to figure out, all right? So
That's fair.
It's fine. It goes in the square hole. Uh, I do apologize. I feel like my annoyance with some of the way the Sabbat is written and played has rubbed off on everyone. It's like, ooh, this sect is very scary and intense, and I'm like, these guys are scary and intense. Okay.
the
They
problem,
have the potential to be,
I think the
but
problem
for
is
sure.
like everyone in Vampire is scary and intense. Like I don't want to be alone in a room with the head of the Camarilla either.
No.
Like they all seem
And
bad.
yeah.
So when you're trying to make a worse bad guy than the regular bad guy, it starts to
Mhm.
tread into edgelord territory.
Yeah. Or it's like you don't fully understand why it's scary, and anyways. So so what the fuck is a symbol? Basically, in visual language, a symbol can be any object, character, color, or even shape that recognizably represents an abstract concept.
a heart
Woo.
equals love.
Yes, it can. It's some sort of affection. And then, it's like,
Yeah.
well, there's different colored hearts because, sometimes people are just like, people that get like too intense about early dating text messages, and they're just like, oh, they've been sending me a hued heart, but then suddenly they start sending me red hearts or pink hearts. What does that mean?
Mm-hmm.
I just use whatever one shows up automatically from my text chat. So I don't know what that means other than lazy.
I mean, that's valid.
I trained
That's
mine to
also
just only.
valid.
I trained mine to use black hearts all the time because it's
Hmm.
cooler.
I use black hearts or the party popper emoji a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. I like the confetti. But yeah,
Dang.
so dang. So in broadest terms, symbols are basically signs that are made up of a signifier, which is what the sign actually looks like, and the signified, which is what the sign is connected to. Hi guys, welcome to a surprise crash course on Ferdinand de Saussure's sign theory.
Oh, here we go.
There we
Thanks,
go.
the
That was it.
Ferdinand
There
the
you go.
Saucer.
Yeah, Swedish guy that was like, "Hey, I'm gonna study signs and do this whole new school of how to study things called semiotics." Which, if you get into it, it's really fucking cool.
Huh.
It's basically the study of signs and symbols, how they're formed and how they function within various contexts, communicate meaning. I have spent multiple years doing this recently because I went back to college, and it is an interdisciplinary field because it covers multiple types of mediums like fashion and film and maps and art, and everything
This
becomes
and that.
semiotics. Just the constant brain rot of becoming the meme of Leonardo DiCaprio in the one movie pointing at things going, ooh, ooh, this. I get this one. Yeah. So it's a if you like gaming and storytelling because a lot of it uses symbolic characters and archetypes and language, and getting a crash course in this would be maybe good. It might make you appreciate your art more. I don't know, just thoughts.
Interesting.
I hate art.
You say with that haircut?
Yeah, okay, fair.
All right, soft sell.
Oh, ow. Why are you gonna cut me?
As we're friends.
The
It's
library is
okay.
open. I have been read.
Damn. All right, so typically, symbols will represent something else, usually an abstract concept, ideal, or cultural thing. Wow. I know, bare bones basics, but we need it. So,
We started at the
if,
bottom.
and now we're here.
Well, we'll get there shortly.
We'll get there, yes. Uh, Also, heads up, if a symbol is just a simplified representation of the thing it is literally depicting, that is an icon. That is the difference between the two.
Interesting.
So instead of a photograph of a wolf or seeing a wolf, if someone draws like hella easy sketch, that's an icon of a wolf.
Yes. Yeah. Or, like if the example I gave is if you just see a rose and the rose is to be there to be like, I'm selling roses. Here is a rose. Boop. Icon.
That's a rose.
Yes. But if you're seeing a rose as a representation of like Clan Toreador, that's when it's a symbol.
Ah.
Ah. Like icon of
So
church
it
is like,
has
on
to,
map.
so we have to, it has to be abstract. It has to stand for something or symbolize something that it is not.
Yes, like not literally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you can see picture of fish and it could be like, yes, one fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish. Or
Hmm.
you can see fish and go, Jesus.
Ah, yes, yes.
I promise I've paid a lot of money to be able to give this very silly explanation.
So a rose by any other name is a symbol.
Yes.
Got it.
Uh, cool. And then the other thing I'm going to oh wait, hold on, sorry, other note I had to make. What a symbol means is really dependent on its cultural context. So, uh
Hmm.
whatever the meaning, there's the meanings of a symbol change depending on what the fuck's going on around it. So there's the meaning of the symbol that it has. So the example I have is like a meme only makes sense if you understand the joke behind it. Otherwise, you're just like, that's a picture. What's happening?
One of the more visceral ones would be the swastika question mark.
I have a button for that one.
Okay, okay, sorry.
But
Because I mean,
oh, you're
it
good.
culturally it changed a lot depending. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, because there's things like Wojaks, I guess. Like if you don't know what the fuck that is, it's not gonna have any significance for you as a symbol.
Mm,
You just go, that's a weird fucking drawing and go about your day. Uh
gotcha.
um and then there's some symbols that are fairly universal, like skulls meaning death or danger. We just kind of all as a species went, yep.
That's a head with no skin on it. That's probably not a good thing.
Yeah. And then there are some symbols that it'll be the same signifier, but it'll have a different signifier. I gave the examples of dragons in Europe versus dragons in China, but swastika also works here.
Hey, okay, all right.
Yeah, yeah, because the symbol has context in Buddhist and other Southeast Asian traditions as like a broken kind of pinwheel thing. Um, there's also swastikas in ancient Native American designs that have symbolic things for turning cycles and rebirth and all that kind
Mhm.
of stuff. And then there's assholes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the symbol changes depending on its context. Cool. There's that. So, other thing
Yeah.
I am going to explain very briefly, but I think it's really important, and I think it makes doing symbols in games like VTM a lot more interesting, is understanding the concept of the medium is the message. This is a McLuhan thing. The book, Understanding Media, is really, really cool. You can find it for free online as a PDF to read, but the TLDR I'm going to give is uh, this idea comes from McLuhan in the 1960s, and it basically says that media that is being used is more important than the actual content within it itself because communication technology has such a fundamental impact on how we perceive and culturally interact with ideas.
Yeah, that makes
Uh-huh.
sense.
Yeah. Sorry, John made a face.
I spaced out for a second until the very last like half of the last part of that, and I was just like, "Fuck, where are we?" I felt like I
Where are we?
was in
Okay.
school again, and I spaced out during history class,
Uh-oh.
and then suddenly people are getting blown up, and I'm like, "But hold on, we were at a bakery."
Why is there fire now?
Yeah.
So, basically, to break this down as simply as possible, different technologies create different ways for people to engage with media by extending their sense of self through the media being a tool, and people tend to extend their senses of self through tools and how they use them. Uh,
Okay. Okay.
kind of I feel like a fairly intuitive way for people to understand that today is um, when you're playing video games, like what you're literally controlling is a controller or a mouse and keyboard, but your brain is interpreting the character's movements as if it is like you running through that space or it's your hands,
Hmm.
which helps with your connection with that particular type of medium.
Got it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's
Or
like reading
yeah,
a book, you are going to, I mean, you're going to be emotional when something sad happens in a book or whatever. But if
yeah.
that book is translated into a comic, it might be even more emotional, or a movie, it may be even
Hmm.
more emotional or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Each one of those media technologies have different ways for you to interact with them. So your sense of how you interact with those stories and the signs and symbols in them is going to be different.
Hmm.
So that's why sometimes when you're trying to tell a story from a book into a film, it doesn't fucking hit the same
Right.
because they're so
Because
different.
you have your own interpretation of these characters, these symbols, these whatevers in your head, and then
Yeah.
somebody else is doing their version of it, and you're like, hold up, that's not what I had.
Yeah. Which I think is something that is good to keep in mind because a lot of us are like, we're reading all these stories for playing our games. And then when you get to playing it at the table, that's such a different medium that you need to be flexible to maybe you need to change some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or something that seemed
Like
big and scary
dwarves
to you
don't
might
have to
not.
be white.
Yeah. Because they fucking weren't in the books, anyways.
Sorry,
Look,
I had to set it up for you, Sarah.
you're good. I'm like, Samwise was brown. I'm not going to hear anything else.
I will not hear
Anyways.
anything else.
It's in the book,
Uh,
god damn it. So that's one way is extend your sense of self. It certain depending on the medium you're using, you're going to use some senses more than others. Like when you're watching a movie, it's like very visual and audio, but you're not getting a lot of tactile senses because you're just kind of sat there.
mhm.
As opposed to a book where you're going to have like tactile with the book and then also reading it, but it doesn't have like a sound or smell really
You can
as an
have a good
option.
smell depending on the book. If it's
Yeah,
Yeah,
one of
true.
those
they make
old
whole
book
like
smells,
yeah, they make whole candles that are meant to smell like books.
Truly. Well, I was gonna say
they
there's also
don't.
films that have those little scratch and sniff cards.
Oh, that's true.
True. Or you go to
Yes,
one of
which
those
is
4D films where they shoot water at you.
yeah, yeah. But the 4D film was a very different media to interact with than, a regular sit down film.
Yeah, yeah. Because you're getting sprayed in the face with dirty water.
Yeah, yeah, I was trying to not think about that. I was like,
Sorry.
there's no way they clean those hoses correctly. Uh,
Uh-uh.
no. Anyways, and then the last thing I want to bring up was it also changes the way we process and perceive time. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So kind of a example of this is in comic books, every panel that you're reading, each of those panels is the present for that character, even though you as a viewer on a page can see multiple panels, so you're witnessing that person in multiple slots of time, and then you can flip through the book and go back and forward and read books either chronologically or out of chronological time, or you can read them in print order, or you can get omnibuses where it has the storyline all compressed.
Hmm.
So, uh, which is a different way of perceiving time than what older folks might have perceived time before they had that kind of medium technology. And we as a species are dealing with that now because there's so many folks that are engaging with social media and short form content. So their abilities to process and perceive time is vastly different than somebody who grew up on like film and television who processed time and everything in a different kind of way.
Mm.
So those are those all have effects and they all have different ways of changing what things in society consider to be important and how people engage with the content within mediums. Which was it gets very spooky sometimes when you're digging into that. Some of my favorites recently has been the phenomenon of like iPhone face. I don't know if you guys know about that.
iPhone face.
Oh, because a particular proportion of face has been described as like the most attractive, particularly through algorithms. A lot of people are doing makeup or going to get plastic surgeries now to all fit this like algorithmic face shape,
Mm.
which is resulting in more and more people now all looking kind of vaguely the same,
Okay.
as
Gotcha. I
opposed
was
to,
afraid people were getting cybernetic implants to make their faces look like iPhones. I was
I
like, this is not the
mean,
cyberware we need.
yeah, it's interesting where it's just like, well, certain body and facial traits have been promoted through algorithms to be more preferred, so they're the ones that are like getting more engagement. So people have multiple various types of incentive to hit that certain look metric,
Gotcha.
which then gets reinforced by the algorithm, which reinforces that social pressure. And yeah, it's very like, oh, crazy stuff.
Hmm.
Also, each form of new media takes content from the previous media into itself. So, radio, when radio shows were becoming a thing, a lot of what they pulled from was like old stage plays and vaudeville shows. And then yeah, television became a thing, and they pulled from old radio shows to decide how they're doing television shows initially, and film did kind of a similar thing as well. Television also pulled from film. Uh, the internet pulled a lot from how television was programmed and run, and now we have the issues with the generative AI pulling things from the internet into itself.
Ugh.
Yeah. So, while each medium has its own very fundamental way of interacting with things, because it's constantly referencing back to old medium, a lot of those signs and symbols and stories from those old mediums will carry through, but they will change.
Okay.
So, yay. uh, and the last thing I want to bring up on this note was each new form of medium also changed the way we interact with content and symbols, which creates new symbols as well as rehashing old ones. So that's why we'll have new forms of language and communication pop up with every new form of media that is specific to it, as well as having a backlog of things that's referencing back past to, which is not helping with the whole like, why is everything constantly being rebooted? I'm like, because we keep making new mediums. And when you make a new medium, there's no initial thing to be made with it. So we refer back to old shit, which is why we have a new
Yeah.
Running Man. Uh, so yeah, there's all of that. So I bring all of that up basically to explain that hey, when you're playing with vampires, you're gonna have some characters that are older and some are younger. They're gonna have very fundamentally different ways of engaging with signs and symbols and having different ways of understanding these things. And I think that can create interesting like character interactions that can create its own kind of horror where you have people that are just very fundamentally out of time, even though in terms of vampire years, they've not been living that long because technology has changed so much over the past like 200 years. Uh, and just people realizing like how much harder it is to maintain the masquerade because things are turning over so quick and the sign symbols and language change so much depending on technology. And if you're not able to keep up with that, that's gonna cause problems.
Yeah, they're gonna call you like, some old nasty name if you just put the colon and the closed parentheses instead of just using a fucking emoji.
Yeah, fucking cringe.
Yeah,
Uh,
goddamn.
well, yeah, I think it leads to issues like, yeah, there's going to be like La Sombras because they can't interact with modern technology, depending on like what banes you take. They're going to have a different way of talking and interacting with people compared to people who are able to keep up with that shit. And that's something you might want to consider when you're portraying a character like that.
Oh my God,
Or
what
if
if
you
you
want
had
to.
a really young Lasombra who couldn't use phones
Mhm.
anymore, but really like loved the emoji thing, so they just wrote letters
Yeah.
and drew the emojis in for their
Yeah.
letters? That'd be cute
Yes,
and sad.
absolutely. Yeah, and that character should probably be having existential crises and the fact that they like cannot phone and hot chip anymore. Like the gothic tragedy of being somebody that's out of time, that character is going to be experiencing that much faster
Hmm.
than everybody else
Yeah, imagine if she'd been
because
staked since like 2002 and you came back and no one used ASCII art anymore.
oh god.
Man,
Oh no.
if you said ask Jeeves and they just laughed at you,
Mm-hmm.
or even worse, Cha Cha.
Oh
Yeah.
fuck. I used to work for Cha Cha.
I did too.
That was a good way to make extra beer money in college.
Hell yeah. But there's also like because the way we engage with different forms of media we extend our senses of self into, getting that cut off, I think also can cause kind of like a cultural like phantom limb sensation.
Mm.
Where it's just like the this way that I was able to enjoy the world or sense things or be parts of community just don't exist anymore, and just kind of this like, oh.
Where am I going to play my phonograph records?
Yeah. I'm
I
just like,
like
oh, that just that hurts me spiritually in ways where it's like, oh no. Like some characters making like, oh yes, I did my hair like Clara Bow. No one knows who the fuck Clara Bow is.
it's the cow from Mickey Mouse. We
Oh
know.
my god. But yeah, like there's even I've dealt with this in small ways where a lot of my cultural ties to things in gay culture are a bit older. So like I've run into people on like baby gays online who don't know who Cher is.
I didn't know that was allowed.
Yeah. So I'm just like, oh no. Oh no, they've forgotten. Shit.
The old magics are lost.
Well, I mean, can you truly believe in life after love if you don't know? It's like, what
Probably
do you mean
not.
you haven't seen Moonbeam?
Get out.
I don't
Get
think I
out.
have either.
Look, I'm just saying the sequence with like Nick Cage screaming about losing his hand and his bride, like fantastic. So, all of that to say, uh, this is how language and symbols just fucking work. I'm gonna avoid going down the Grant Morrison, Alan Moore occult train
Oh,
about,
shucks.
you know, yeah, that because that's a different episode. That's
Sigils and
sigils.
mega
That's a different
sigils,
episode.
and that's a whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
to
it's
get to sigils, you need to understand this shit first.
you gotta walk before you can run.
Exactly. So,
What if I just wanted to
V5 and
swim?
symbols. Well, you got to make a sigil for that, and to do that.
If your legs aren't strong enough to walk, you might struggle swimming.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah,
Unless I
and you
just
don't have the
am, I've
benefit.
skipped leg day forever, and I just have arms like a titan.
Yeah, I was gonna say you don't have the benefit like me, where I have enough body fat to be neutrally buoyant, so I just kind of like I'm chilling.
No, I actually sink actively. I
Hmm.
can't
Hmm.
float. I have to concentrate on floating.
Yeah, I'll be honest, it made doing my lifeguarding training tests back in the day so easy.
Hell yeah.
I
Like,
almost
like
didn't get
you,
my swimming merit badge because I couldn't float when I was in
no.
Boy Scouts. They were like, John, you need to arch your back and breathe in. And I'm like, I am, as my legs are dragging me down toward the bottom of the pool.
You're like that. You're like those sticks that were pool toys.
Yeah, kind of.
Oh, those are great. There's
Yeah.
the torpedoes.
Oh hell yeah.
Those were fun.
Damn.
Thanks for coming to
Sorry,
our
I'm
pool
now just
toy
like,
podcast.
oh, I was just like, man, I miss times where we had broken into pools to just fuck about at like 2 a.m. Pool
I
beers.
literally talked about the times when we climbed the fence to get into the pool behind us at
Hmm.
Marcy Village, and we would
Hmm.
float 40s in it at like 2 in the morning.
Hell
Such a
yeah.
good time.
It was good times.
Hell yeah. I was like, the weather's warming up. Maybe take a minute to go pool floating. Might be a good
Yeah,
idea.
floating a 40
So
is always a fun time. If we For those listeners that don't know, it's you drink enough 40 to where when you keep the bottle closed, it floats, and then you can just throw it in the pool and it'll float around, and you can just keep drinking it while you're playing around in the pool.
hmm.
You're floating the 40.
We are cool and good people. So, fifth edition and symbols. Having a game set in the modern era, I think, presents a world that is still processing the effects of mass media, which I think could be neat, especially if you have games where you're like, we're having some super old characters. And I'm like, bro, fucking the printing press might blow some of these guys' fucking minds. Like,
Eh,
unironically.
Printing press is pretty cool though.
It is. Fucking so many, dude, just learning the early history of the printing press and how many times people were investing in it and it kept going bankrupt was bananas.
Oh my gosh, y'all, I just had a hilariously fun idea.
Mm,
The scene or a really, really old vampire who's never seen a printing press, and a really, really young vampire who's never seen a printing press, both needing a printing press at the same time.
This is like, brother.
They're both like, what the fuck is that thing? For totally different reasons.
Oh, that's so good. That could be fun. Little
You see,
bonding
there's a
moment.
bonding moment for your
Hmm.
olds and new bats.
Yeah. And just the Ancella in the middle is like, I swear to God, I'm gonna kill both of you. So, for those who don't know, mass media is media that is generated from one creator or a small group to be distributed to a broader public. So, this includes things like books, pamphlets, magazines, flyers, radio, television, film, the internet. Yes, it's all mass media. It's not just social media that is mass media.
Yeah,
Yeah. And in terms of the human time scale, we've only been doing this for like 600 years.
I'm in. I like it.
Yeah. So we as a species are still just like, I don't know what to do with my hands. What if I made a new one? What if I made it faster? What if I made it addictive?
I'm gonna paint it red.
Oh no, I'm pretty addicted to my hands.
Hey yo. I mean, my hands are neat. Hands are useful.
Yeah, I like them. I think I'll keep them for a while. At
Just
least until I can
imagining it a
get better
Morton.
ones.
Just imagining it a Morton Joe-esque Zimitzi that is like, you've become dependent on hands, it makes you weak, your addiction to hands, and they've just they've decided they've gone beyond hands. The thumb,
Don't need it.
I've designed better, and you're just like, what the fuck?
You're better than the thumb. The thumb is kind of fucking awesome, dude. Don't need it. Get rid of it. Put this on instead. It's just a wiggly thing.
Just every oops, all tentacles.
Yep. I don't need joints if they just bend in every direction.
But then how are you gripping? Because it's still just skin. It's like grip harder, I guess.
Yeah, that's a skill issue.
I hate it. It's great, but I hate it. So, views on media and art has changed a lot due to the camera.
Cameras are pretty cool.
Cannot understate this enough.
They're like eyeballs, but permanent.
Yeah, well, that's kind of a big chunk of a cap, and I'm boiling down a lot of really tedious art history to explain. So, in European history, for the longest time, art was measured by how good you were at making things look real life.
That
Then we got camera, and a
it's
bunch
like,
of artists
sucker,
went,
look at this.
yeah, a bunch of artists went like, well, what am I doing anymore?
Yeah.
And that's how we got modern art.
Camera can't make this thing look weird as fuck.
Yeah. So yeah, just basically art that look realistic. That is representational art. That is what a lot of folks still in Western context are go, ah, yes, this is actually art. This is real art. And all of that abstract, non-representational art, that is bullshit. My child could do that. Blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, I hate that you don't seem to be understanding that the point of this portion of art is to be exploring what even is art when we're not limited to being, I paint a titty really good. Look how much it looked like titty.
It practically bounced.
Yeah, it like I've drawn a cubist titty. Look, you can see it on 4 different planes. There's so
I
much
only
titty here.
wanted 3 planes. I don't know what to do with all this titty.
There's this titty exists in 4 different planes, and then there's a sixth plane where it exists in a different portion of time, but on the same flat plane.
Burn it. This is witchery.
Witchcraft. Like, we're joking, but like that's genuinely how people reacted to a lot of very early abstract and impressionist art. Like, truly. And we still deal with that to this day with a lot of contemporary art where people are just like, I don't understand. It seems like people are making things up and da 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 da. And I'm just kind of like, is some of it kind of jerking yourself off? Yes.
As someone who went to art school, I'd say even a lot of it.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of contemporary art where it's like, these are people that are exploring techniques and concepts and themes and questioning things in ways that I find a lot more interesting than, ah, yes, a painting of a Bible scene yet again. Look at this
Yeah.
field. Isn't it amazing? Some of it is really
Listen,
cool,
if
and
we
I'm like,
didn't have a ton of pictures of fields, we wouldn't have planes for Magic the Gathering. They're integral. They're integral to society.
Yeah, but I bring this up because it's like, yeah, with vampires and symbols and things, newer vampires might be a bit abstract. This is just depending on where people are in the timeline. They're gonna have different opinions on like how things are represented and what that actually means. And I, I was worried if I got into it too much of the paint right now, it would like bog the entire episode down. But it's like, yeah, is your character pre or post camera? That's a good question to ask. Because pre-camera uh signs and symbols that they use, they might have more of a spiritual attachment to it in a certain lens than people post camera where they're getting really abstract and it gets has a spiritual and cultural meaning in a different fucking way. It's,
Argue
you
about it
might
in
argue about it in the
game
chat. Yeah, argue about it in the
or in the
chat.
chat.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're gonna run into characters that are like older and they're gonna want things to be more representational and they're just like, ah, this graffiti art. It's just scribbles. Why does anybody care about this?
Hmm.
And then other
When a
characters are gonna be
newer
like,
character might look at it and be like, actually, that graffiti over there is telling us that this is a safe place to feed. So,
yeah,
shush.
like this is a whole newsletter, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what different signs and symbols are all gonna mean and have context for is gonna change a lot depending on cultural context and time period. So I can't give you a quick and easy like this is how you do this and this is how this clan works and this is how this one works. No,
I
that
do feel kind of like
anybody.
there are certain
Yeah.
clans that are going to be a little bit more stuck in it. Like, I feel like a
Hmm.
Ventru, a super young Ventru would still have the excuse of like knowing all of the old symbols and understanding all the old iconography
Oh
because
yeah.
like, their olds are like, this is how you do the thing. Don't do it
Hmm.
different because this is how you do it. And
Hmm.
so like it would make sense for specific clans to be like perfectly comfortable with either set of things regardless of age.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you bring that up because there's something I wanted to bring up in terms of like how clans represent themselves or how characters represent themselves, especially with very young vampire characters. And it's I'm gonna say there's a middle section where people go, what is art? And it's like from camera up until I'm gonna say about 1970s, 1980s, and then 1970s, 80s on to now. There's been a shift happening. Um, and it's what is the purpose of art outside, and it's not so much asking like, well, since we have cameras that can do perfect recreations of real life, it's because everything is getting so financialized,
Mm,
the question around art and depictions and symbols changes from like what even is art is what is the value of this.
right. Gross.
It's gross. I think it's terrible, but I think it could lead to some really interesting characters and the way they engage with like their clan symbols and various things and aspects they use for their characters. Particularly late 20th century, especially the 21st century onward. Because basically with this financialization that's been going on, that's often pushed by like tech bros and the investor class, they have it. The best way I can find to explain it is because they're stripping everything down to what is its market value. They don't have they basically are ripping the signified out of symbols and they
Mm.
only care if what the value of the symbol itself is, which means you can kind of crisscross applesauce things in ways that as long as it makes you money, you kind of don't give a shit.
Using things like Supreme or Nike swoosh as an example, question mark?
Yeah, well, like my go-to in this is like fucking Palantir.
Okay.
Because, Palantir from Lord of the Rings is big spooky evil thing. Seem Seems like a weird choice to name your company that if you're trying to get people to be like thinking inherently your company has good intentions because marketing up until recent times the goal was to be appealing to the consumer base. So that's why there'd be like lots of kitschy things and hearkening to home and hearth and farming and like, old town da 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 and like grandma's cookies and all that kind of shit. And like we're trustworthy. these fuckers don't give a shit about that now. And they kind of don't have any reason to. So I think they're the really smart shift that kind of mirrors this was the Ventrue, where their symbol went from just a scepter to a scepter and a sword.
Fair enough.
Where I'm like, oh, like that's actually really smart. Holy shit.
They get it. Which again would
Especially if
make
it's
sense
like,
for that clan. Like
mm-hmm.
iconography is kind of their thing.
Yeah. Well, it's like if your core values are more based on things only have value if they have market value, so like public assets like libraries, parks, music performances, sporting events in and of themselves aren't what's valuable. What's valuable is like the prediction markets you can have off of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Um uh it's yeah, you don't have an incentive to be appealing to people because like that's not who you're making money off of, so fuck it. So, like, given that context, it's like the Camarilla being really insular now makes more sense because you have all these younger people that are coming from this mindset that are now coming in and running everything. So they don't have the need to do that whole hey, if you work really hard long enough and you're loyal to the Camarilla, you'll get things back. And it's very fuck you, pay me, I got mine, I'm burning the ladder behind me. Uh the world is on fire, so we're pulling up the castle gates kind of a thing. So I think that's something that should be reflected more in how characters that are in the Camarilla are using their signs and symbols and language.
Mm.
If that's too real for your table because it's too much like today, that's fine. Do what you're gonna do. But in V5, we're being presented a world where it's like, okay, all these elders are getting beckoned, and we have a bunch of folks that are, I guess, maybe technically not ready to be in leader positions, climbing and grabbing all this power. Um,
Mm-hmm.
they're going to have some attitudes about it, and they're going to showcase that in certain ways. So, yeah, you might have Toreador that are. I think there should be a lot more clashings with the Toreador, where you have Toreador that are very into the art does have meaning versus the ones that are like art has value, and like how do those two characters like display that? Could have, this could be a time where it's like, because things are coming down to so much market value, like the Nosferatu are doing better, and then how does that get represented in your game? Because so much of the Nosferatu clan's invested in like infrastructure. But then there's also going to be Nosferatu that's like, hey, dog, parks and libraries are cool. Why are we not investing in that anymore? So there could be that division, and like, how do those guys look and symbolize those things within your games? The poor Malkavians are just screaming. They will not stop
Yeah.
screaming.
That's kind of their symbol.
Oh yeah.
The scream.
But
It's just screaming.
well, yeah, and it's like as we're getting into an era where like people don't use mirrors as much, but they're getting into we're so tech reliant, are Malkavians going to start incorporating like cracked screens as opposed to cracked mirrors?
That's cute.
Yeah. Like their idea of doing the little lapel pens like a little broken iPhone screen. Uh, there's lots of ways of doing that. I think you can get into some cool symbol clashing where okay, well the Somber is getting into the Camarilla. uh, They're very cutthroat anyway, so they might do really well in a more financialized system, but they can't interact with technology, so they might be relying more on old military
Couriers.
or money. Yeah. They're gonna rely more on old symbols and old signs of wealth more than the Venture who might be more up on newer things.
Ventrue is wearing the $5,000 turtleneck that just looks like you bought it at Target, where Lasombra are actually still buying like the really nice suits and things like that to show their wealth. Question mark.
Yeah. Things like that. Or they might be wearing more jewelry where there's like physical shows of their wealth and prestige as opposed to like the tech bro. I'm wearing a polo shirt. Bullshit. I don't know. There's a lot of ways to go about that. I'm sorry, Hunter. I have jabbed her on so fucking much.
You're fine. I don't know why you're apologizing to me.
I was just worried I had gone on too much and I had spoken over you at some point.
Oh no, I don't think so. I have
Okay.
ADD, so if you did, I forgot.
I'm so sorry. Anywho, yeah. So, but yeah, that was something in recent times that I had been thinking a lot for games because I'm starting to run games where I'm like, okay, I think I think there's some really interesting age and symbolism splits that can start happening now because we're enough into this bullshit. At least in terms of like the beckoning's been going on just long enough that I think there's enough space where you can start seeing these really fundamental changes start popping up in games. If that's something you want to do, but if you want to explore more of the horror of like history and deep time and loss, it's like a there are things and elements in the way people interact that you might want to consider as like, oh, this could be a fun extra layer of ooky spooky.
Spooky and also spooky.
And it's just like,
Interesting.
I can't connect with, I can't talk to the humans anymore because no one knows what an 8-track player is, which is
They get so
unfortunate.
confused.
Yes. Or they're just like, I can't repair my things anymore because, the stuff that was used to make it just isn't around anymore.
Or even more frustratingly, they've finally decided to go and like, change to whatever
Mhm.
new technology, and they've found that, oh, everything is made so that you can't repair it anymore.
Yeah. Yeah. And then kind of in the Uno reverse with the Gehenna Wars and so many old and or ancient things coming up, people have lost their connections through these things. So now you're just
Sadness.
gonna get connection. Now you're just gonna get some weird shit showing up, and you're just gonna go, I have no idea what that.
What am I even looking
This
at right now?
is just well, this was useless. Uh, so that could be something to consider is leaving cryptic messages for your players that they might have to go seek somebody who is a specialist in these signs and symbols, or if you have a player that's like, I'm really interested in the Book of Nod, I'm like, cool, start giving them weird esoteric shit that no one else is gonna get. It'll be fun. It's very Lovecraftian that way.
I like this.
Yes. So,
I do like the
suggestions from the
idea if you
source.
have like younger
Yeah.
vampires, instead of like teaching your players all this, just start having them run into it and having them have to figure it out.
It's like a less intense puzzle.
I'm in. I like
Yeah.
that.
Or, yeah. It's like not the D&D puzzle room where it's like, ah, yeah, well, if you don't solve this puzzle in time, you're going to get crushed by the room, which, I mean, I guess if you want to throw that in your vampire game, cool. Uh,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
yeah. Yeah,
What's
just
wrong with a good crushing of vampires?
squish. Uh, but yeah, that could be a fun way to introduce an antagonist character who's older and hasn't bothered to learn the way people communicate now, and they just start leaving. They literally start hammering grievances to doors like a Protestant. And then just everyone goes like, "Who the fuck? Who the fuck has got a quill? The fuck?"
Where did
Which
you even get this quill? I made it. What?
Yeah, it's like first I have to catch a bird. You can find a bird?
What kind of bird? Oh, it doesn't really matter too much, but usually I like to get the big feathery ones, like a goose.
Oh, this guy's psychotic. He's fucking with geese. We have
We
to
gotta
kill him
leave. We
immediately.
have to kill him.
His power level is too strong. We gotta go.
He's confidently fighting geese. We're out of here, man.
Yeah, I can hear the sound that I do not have enough XP for this level. So, yeah. So suggestions from the book. There is the Kindred fashion section in the core book. It has some like inspo points to give for the various clans. A lot of them are very on the nose, so I'm not going to recount those. This is the reason why, guys, on the first episode of every clan episode, I did a vibes section. So if you want a
Vibes.
clan with a
Go
specific
back to
vibe,
that.
go to that. I even gave fashion advice, god damn it. Yes. But what it does have that I think is cool is it does have suggestions for people having attachments to family heirlooms, cultural wear, trinkets, because that's what people do. So your character should just maybe have a couple of things that they give a fuck about.
Yeah,
That could,
I
eh?
agree.
That's a good way to lead into portraying a character. It's like, my character still wears their wedding ring, and it's like, oh, what's the wedding ring look like? Like, why do you still do that? Do we want to run a scene where we do a flashback to the day your wife and or husband got murdered? I don't know. Like,
Whoops.
whoops.
Ooh.
Are they also a vampire and now that's just really messy? Like, what's going on?
We do like
Uh,
messy.
yes. Also, the section recommends that the attire for your character should fit the situation. I'm putting into brackets or expect reactions from characters.
Yeah.
As in, Hey, because the masquerade, your character should have clothes that fit for the circles they walk in.
Hmm.
It seems obvious. I've had people not do this where it's like, okay, so you're gonna be playing a sandman that feeds off of people in medical comas. Why do you think you can walk around the hospital in streetwear and not get clocked? Minimum, why are you not wearing scrubs? You know, things like that. It's like, ah, yes, I've decided I'm going to go feed in this cool nightclub. Why are you still dressed like a college professor?
Hey, it depends on
College
the
professors
nightclub.
can be cool at nightclubs.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying you have to absolutely have to make your outfit fit the scene if you want to have that like disconnect. I think that can lead to cool character moments and interactions, but like
Hmm.
if you're wearing a knee-length leather trench coat, wearing wraparound sunglasses and dual-wielding katanas, do expect people to have fucking opinions about that.
People just
No.
think Comic Con's in town.
God, the proliferation of nerd conventions has saved so many vampires
Oh yeah.
on their bullshit. Also, so the next thing they brought up was in your haven, because there's usually not mortals or people who don't know about the masquerade. You can pick attire that's more comfortable based on your character's preferences, time period. If you want to get weird with it, cool. That honestly, that could be an interesting character portrayal where somebody, when they go out, they dress very down and low key, but then when they're in vampire spaces, they dress a little bit more opulent, or they have a Georgian fit that's their favorite. I don't fucking know. uh eh, think a bit I have done because I think it's funny is playing older femme characters who really don't like panties, because that only really became a thing in like the 1930s and 40s.
Hmm.
So they're just like, I just this just wedgies all the time. Wedgies all the time. Why did we do this?
It was
Why was this
foolish.
what we agreed on? I don't know. You could have characters that like are more bundled up at home than outside because they're just like, I don't like how people just they just wear t-shirts. That's basically underwear. Why? Please wear more clothes.
Why are we doing this?
Why are we doing this? Exactly. And then at Elysium, you may be representing yourself, but you may also be representing your coterie, your clan, and or your sect in that setting. So that might have to change the different attire and symbols and sigils and da 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 that you're wearing, depending on what the fuck's going on in your scene. So maybe consider that. It's almost like Vampires Elysium are really bitchy and like to do social combat, and part of that is the way you're dressing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or like, does your character have tattoos? Depending on the situation, you might want to have those covered or not covered. There's a plethora of options to consider there. Um, there's also near that in the core book an iconography section. Um, there's just one line I thought was worth bringing up because it ties into everything else I have talked about, which is in your game, you are well served by abstracting the iconography to its core. If you keep it simple, you'll be able to find hints of it on punk album covers and in Renaissance paintings to radical street art. These are traces left throughout art history by our immortal masters. So that's partially why each of the clan vampire signs is a vague symbol that can be reinterpreted in a lot of different ways.
Hmm.
And I think it's fun, particularly when you're storytelling, to try and like stick those into things when you can, because it makes your players feel really smart when they find that shit.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, give them the little secret thing, and then they just go, "Oh, like it." It's such an easy, fun little thing to chuck at players when they're like, "Oh, hey, I want to investigate this scene to see if I find anything," and give them something that ties to a clan or something that is very symbolic of a particular character, and they go, "Ah, I found this thing. Yes, cool.
I am so smart.
Yes." Reward them for paying attention. God damn it. Or if you have characters that specialize in certain things, give those characters those things to fucking find. I can't emphasize that enough. Oh my god. Um, Also, core book and player's guide have snippets for each of the clans on some sort of theming, outfit, and vibe. So if you uh, don't want to check out our back catalog, there's some ideas in those. Uh, the Kindred Iconography lore sheet covers various ways that characters can create, interpret, and weaponize different kindred symbols. Also, other lore sheets I thought were useful was the Carmelita Nielsen. There's like a library specific asset you can get in there.
Mm.
The library could just be language and symbology, and that's all it is, if you want. Um, the Book of Nod lore sheet has a bunch of stuff that could be good. Uh, Kindred social media influencer, I think, has stuff that's good for if you want to get into more contemporary modern day sign symbols and all that kind of stuff. Pony Express and Road Courier, if you're using like secret travel signs or you're sending encrypted messages and all that kind of shit, those would be good. Gehenna cults. That lore sheet is good if you want to know ancient shit. And then the Vienna Zero lore sheet is also good if you want a cultic shit that got stolen from the Tremere library. Sure.
Do you think you could fit a lot of iconography and symbolism in Goblin Roads as well?
Oh yeah,
That's kind of where
yes,
I was thinking.
yeah. We were talking about doing Goblin Road specifically very soon, so I was trying to save those.
Yeah, that can
Ooh.
be a teaser. Boop, boop.
Yeah, it's a little teaser, little nah.
There you go, teaser, little teaser for you guys.
Yee. And there's like merits. What's the one from In Memoriam that I was thinking of? There's like Guardian of History merit or something like that that lets you get an extra dot in like your specific field of research or specific knowledge. Um, there's a lot of ways, academics, skills, specifically streetwise skills, etiquette, politics, uh, survival, I think are skills that all could involve that kind of thing. Um, yeah. It's it's a topic that I think is very, very interesting. I mean, I obviously study this, but it's also very broad. So there's a lot of ways to interpret and run with these things. But I think understanding the basics of how these work and how people interact with them hopefully should lead to better ways to build characters and stories where you're just like, ah, well, if I'm playing a gangrel and I have the little wolf head symbol, is there other things I could use maybe to incorporate these themes in my characterizations and descriptions?
I think so.
Yeah. Are there ways
Yes.
to, yeah. I think there might be fun and interesting ways to like portray setites that aren't necessarily wrapped in Egyptology in ways that are like cartoonish.
Hmm.
I was trying to think. It's like somebody who's a satite. They're like they might wear a lot of like jewelry with like blue lotuses, for an example, because that has that has religious significance and also some hippy dippy esoteric bullshit as well. So you're getting the religious thing. There's a lot of ways to do that. Uh, Toreador is a good example with like, oh, well, there's a rose, but there's also like 1,000 different ways to do roses, and there's also thousands of different types of roses, and how you want to interpret that and intersperse that in your character's iconography. Have fun, go nuts.
Yeehaw.
Here's me being self-conscious, worried that I front loaded the academic shit too much, and now I'm just like,
Ah, that's kind of how we run it anyway. Is academic shit and then less academic shit. So it's all good.
Yeah, it's just we're smart. We're dumbasses, but
Yeah,
we're smart.
we talk good.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Like a thing that I've enjoyed with having both of you as players is you've done well with when you've written characters and portrayed them leaning into signifiers for your characters that really tie to who they are at their baseline.
Hmm.
Uh like um like Hunter with the country club venture because so much of their thing was like sporting and sportsmanship. You had them wear like athleisure wear pretty regularly, which shows like see guys, there's like little things you can do like that like build into a character because it's like a okay, usually Venture wears suits. Why is this guy always in khakis and a polo? The fuck?
Because he loves golf.
Yeah. Ugh.
Who
And
doesn't?
then there's also the hunting maze and shit like that. And then John's done the Nosferatu that their thing was hunting people, so you made him an anglerfish.
I don't know. Yeah,
To be fair, both of their things that we talked about was hunting people, so
Yeah,
this is true.
it
Just in
was.
different
Yeah,
ways.
yeah. And you got two very unique, very fun characters out of it. So I'm just like, fuck yeah, I love that shit. Uh, the signs and symbols for your character does not have to be like wrapped in just the clan symbol, you can also find ways to take things that are fundamental about your character and just make that part of their physicality, which would also invite other players to be like, "Oh, why do you do this thing?"
Because I'm a freak. Leave me alone.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's
You
valid.
tell him,
But
buddy.
yeah,
You tell him.
hell yeah. So yeah, was there any other things, questions, comments, concerns?
I don't think so.
Not off the top of my dome.
Yeah.
Uh, I kind of threw off the recording schedule, guys, because we had a script plan, but I got really excited about this idea and I went, ooh, script. Poof.
That's fine. I don't pay attention
Yeah.
until we sit down to record unless I write the episode anyway, most of the time.
I appreciate you guys indulging me. You're good friends.
I'm ready to be here.
Yay. Okay. Well, we need to be gone because we got other work we have to do. So thank you, Paralyze,
This
for the
is true.
music. Um,
Yeah.
we do have
Thanks,
social
man.
medias. You should check Paralyze out on Bandcamp because Bandcamp is cool.
That's true.
That is true.
Yes.
And it's linked below.
It is linked below. If you like our stuff and you want to support us, we do have a Patreon. You can give us money there. We also have a Ko-Fi if you want to donate there. There is merch. I know we're behind on doing merch stuff. I know ah,
Unfortunately,
my bad.
you
It'll
left the
happen.
country, so
Yeah. I was looking up flight prices to get back to the States. It's not looking great, guys.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah, it's not a good time. It's not a good time, dog. Um, so there's that. Yeah, we do interviews on occasion. If you want to do that with us, hit us up on the email. There will be that link below. Uh, anything else going on that we want to yap about?
not that I can think
I
of.
can't think of anything.
Hey, yo, John, get out of
Right?
here.
Oh yeah, I got a kiss. Hey
He's-
guys, this kiss is a symbol for my love for you. Mwah.
Ew.
He
He
learning.
learned. I'm so proud of him.
Yo.